Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors, an Emerson CQC7 rendition, if you will. Listen, we got a lot to cover, so before we get into it, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. That number has decreased, but there is a lot of work to do. Vets, we love you. You have a place here. We back to blue over here with Sport Leo. How do you do that, Scab? Well, we don't break the damn law. And finally, if you're an addict, never quit quitting. So here's the deal, guys. If you've been with me since the beginning, if you've been with me for a long time, you know that before the Billy Watt demo, my go-to knife was my Emerson CQC7. Now, let me give you some specs on mine or on the CQC7 as Megatron's watching videos there in the background, not paying attention to me. Story of our life. The overall length is 8 inches. The blade length is 3.3 inches. Its blade steel is 154 cm. The Rockwell is 57 to 59. It is a spear point with a stonewash finish. The edge type is plain. The handle length is 4.65 inches. That's big with me, guys. Y'all know that. It's black G10. The frame and the liners are titanium. It is a liner lock. It is a right-hand tip-up construction. Now, here's the deal. In all fairness, I've had this knife for about 3 years. And 4 or 5 months ago, I sent it to DJ Horn. I had already started dicking around with it and pretty much screwed up the edge, as I have want to do. So we got rid of the chisel grind. You see me compare them to my CQC8 and my my Vindicator. Now, guys, I bought 4 Emersons. One I gave to Kirk. It was a Vindicator. And I have a CQC7 and a CQC8 and a Vindicator. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't like the chisel grind. I've tried to. I understand why Ernie did it. And for the guy last time who was like, you did it because it's not lazy. It was purpose done. I'm just not a fan of the chisel grind. Now, my Vindicator is still a chisel grind. But DJ Horn did a masterful job on my 7 and 8. Now, that was 3 or 4 months ago, and all I've done is hone this thing up, strop it a few times. I waited this long to do this video on purpose. Do I still love my CQ7? Yes, CQC7. Yes, absolutely, I do. But I wanted to beat it up. I wanted to wear it down. I wanted to get it to where it was just adequate. Why? Because if you force me to tell you why I love this knife, I couldn't. It just works. It does what I need it to do. But I want to take a little different tact with this video. Now, if you watched any of my videos, especially the demonstrations, you know what I'm about to say. I'm a novice at best. I don't really call them tests because there's nothing we do scientific. I don't call them reviews. I want to explain a little bit the mentality, the psychology behind the way I do my videos. Yes, I know I've got a twang, and yes, I know we do the hoo-haw thing sometimes, but I approach my videos a certain way. And I wanted to explain that to everybody, especially some of the new folks that are coming on. Guys, I say I don't do tests because we don't do anything scientific. Now, you'll hear me call them tests from time to time. But you know what I'm saying. Basically, what I do is I try to show you everyday uses, something that you're going to use a knife for every single day of your life, and how that knife performs. I've never really said why I don't call them reviews. Here's why. Because there are some tremendous knife reviewers out there. There really are, man. They do a jam-up job. I'm not going to try to name them because I'll do that and I'll leave people out, and that's not the intention. They run their channel a certain way, but knife reviews, when you give a knife review, you want to review it out of the box or fairly new so you can go over every aspect of that knife. The steel, the properties of that steel. There's a perfect throw from old Scabber. How it, all of the stuff. You want to give every detail you can about that knife. Now, I've said many times, guys, I work 2 jobs. That ain't a whining thing. That's a truthful thing. I work 2 jobs so that I can run my channel the way I want to. About 75 to 80% of the knives you see, I buy. The rest, subscribers send. I have one company Work Tough Gear, who will let me demo a few knives. We don't have any agreements, nothing like. The agreement says the first time I start oohing and ahhing and fluffing and all that, I'm done with their knives. They want honest, hardcore reviews. That's why, guys, I show you these demonstrations. You can't fake it. You can't beat the shit out of a knife. Now, I don't abuse knives. I really don't. When I talk about beating, I'm talking about batoning or chopping or something like that. You can't fake taking my baton and slamming it into a knife. You can't fake stabbing. This is the John Peters stab test. This knife, for whatever reason, as much as I love it, now, I will say this, it did penetrate about a 3/16 inch piece of sidewall tire there all the way through. So it'll do the job. It is adequate. But please bear in mind, this particular sample is about 3 years old. The other thing that I want you to understand is this. When I do demonstrations, I'm demonstrating what's in my hand, okay? I'm not going to make broad, sweeping comments about the maker. Now, I like Ernie Emerson. I really do. He seems to be very genuine. Now, some people get upset, well, I contacted and Ernie didn't call me back. No shit. I can tell you this. I'm getting close to like 5,000 subs, and people contact me all the time. I can't imagine running a business having the presence he has. Dude, come on, man. Now, if you've got legit complaints, go through their HR department. But Ernie's probably not going to pick up the phone and go, hey, Scab, I watched your review, and I got to tell you, it's the best I've ever seen. That ain't going to happen. So here's my thing. I'm going to discuss the knife in hand. I'm going to show you to the best of my ability what that knife can do. Now, I wanted to show you this right here. I know there are certain issues with Emerson's liner locks, or I've heard a lot about them. I've never experienced one, never experienced failure. Does that mean they're not there? No, absolutely not. Again, because I'm a horrendous knife reviewer, honestly. I'm not a good one. Decent knife demonstrator, terrible reviewer. But I can tell you, the pieces that I have in my hand, I haven't had an issue with yet. Now, I damn near cut off my right pointer and my right bird finger a couple of years ago with this knife, not long after I first had it. So I can tell you at that point, it was absolutely sharp as shit straight out of the box. But that wasn't because of a liner lock failure. Listen, guys, some people like liner locks, some people don't. I think Matt Pearson said it best. A well-done liner lock is as good a lock as there is out there. And for the 3 samples of Emerson knives that I have that I've bought, I've had no issue with liner locks. But that's why I call these demonstrations, and that's why I show you instead of just talking. I don't have that base knowledge. I've said this many times now. I'm learning, and my goal is to get as good as anybody with overall knowledge and talk to you about the many, many different aspects of a knife and the steel properties and all of that. And we'll get there. But in the meantime, I'm just going to show you how the damn thing works and give you my best opinion on it. Guys, I love this knife community. There's a lot of great channels. I don't care how anybody else runs their channel. I don't give a damn. I don't care if they use clickbait. I don't care. What I am concerned about is Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors and Blade Talk with Scab and Joe, and apparently getting water all over myself there. Now listen, I said that because I want to be clear with this. I love the knife community. I love a ton of different channels. I don't care how they run theirs. That's not an asshole thing, guys. That's just me being honest, okay? 100%. I love it. I'm subscribed to a bunch. Hell, I'm members on a bunch. And that leads me to this. Again, I've been asked again this week about the Patreon and the memberships. Listen, guys, we'll talk about that way, way down the road if I ever blow up big or something. Right now, I enjoy doing what I do for a living. Right now, I enjoy working the 2 jobs. It gives me that freedom. Now, my channel is monetized, and I make just enough money. I think there's a misconception out there that people that have monetized channels could do it for a living. Let me just tell you this. What little I've made this month, I'll spend triple that in shipping this month. So let me just say that. But I do want to say this to every single one of you who's subscribed and who've suffered through this. 1, Is my CQC7 in my top 5 still? You damn right it is. It just works. I got to hone it up, but it's an awesome knife, and I love it. The other thing is this, guys. I love y'all. I really do. Thank you for riding with me. Thank you for putting up with all the buffoonery. Thank you for being as good as you are to me. Guys, listen. Mikey says it best. Everything's going to be all right. I'm Scab. You're not. I'm gone, son. Love y'all.